I mean,
It
they
is,
beat
or
this.
as they said, a float. Maybe now it's a float.
And the weird part is they did it playing Barry Alvarez football. They have a quarterback who should never pass, and they just run the ball and the defense. It's amazing. I wouldn't know how you could do it as quickly as they did, given how pathetic they were not that many games ago.
Well,
People
or
should
maybe
be
they just kind of found
what?
themselves a little because they kind of the Washington thing was just kind of dumb luck of circumstance, but they
Yep.
did play well in this one, so that was good. The what brought that on was they were mocking Missouri's offensive effort, and so then offensive output, and so then I just offered that given the output of the Badgers recently, that they seemed awful froggy after the the Washington win and the Illinois thumping. So that was it.
Yeah, they should allow me to speak well of them. They should just continue to say nothing. Though I haven't fully recovered because I can't comprehend Wisconsin being in a situation where they're in the bottom third of money. This is not the first year of NIL. I stand by it and believe it. Whoever was in charge of the money should be fired immediately. That's like putting together a Pop Warner football team and not providing any shoulder pads. Going, well, we're running a little low. No, it's not possible. It's not possible to believe that they could be that poor, being the Wisconsin and the tradition, history, and the money they clearly have with people all around the world.
Well, but I think what happened maybe is they thought with the tradition and all that other stuff, they could we can rely on our good name and that we'll see what happens. And like all the other schools that tried that, they're finding that is not the way to do it, right? A lot of schools
that's their belief, but
we're this. And
yeah.
I think they clearly went, okay, kids aren't going to go just because they really like the W and they like to jump around. We're going to have to actually pay them like we do everybody else. Otherwise, they're going to go to North Texas State. So I just think that was a recalibration. That was where the error was, and just that they thought we can get by on the cheap.
I have one question on that. I don't know if I'm going to get sugar or salt. So they go after Luke Fickell, who at the time is the hottest college coach in the country.
Yeah.
And if you were Luke Fickell, what's the one question you would ask Wisconsin? I only need to know one thing. Do you have the money to compete with the elite in the Big Ten? And if you say no, I'm not coming to Wisconsin. So my assumption is that they said yes.
Sure.
And in this offseason, before they played a really tough schedule, he knew he'd been lied to. There's no way he ever assumed he would be in the bottom third. And if I were the head coach, if I was Luke Fickell, I would have either quit or held a press conference or called the who's the president? Not the president of the university. Now I'm forgetting.
The chancellor?
The chancellor.
Jennifer Mnuchin.
Chancellor, and said, this is unacceptable. What's now? Maybe they did then resolve that because, according to Ted Kellner,
I think that just
they're
took
going to move
longer
on.
than it was. I don't know that anybody lied to him. I feel like that's a pretty strong way to go about it. I think they probably did say, yeah, we've got the money. We will spend the money. And then it came to how you spend it, and they didn't realize that the way they allocate that was a brilliant way to do it. And then now they realize we have underfunded that, and we got to do better. And I think that's just a year later than it was. I think to cast people as flat out lying to them seems to be a bit harsh.
Oh, hold on. Okay, well, if they tell me the groceries are $2 for cereal, and I get there and they're $4, 2 years later, then I was lied to. There's no way they told Luke Fickell at any point in his time would they be in the bottom third of money spent for football. Am I correct there?
Right, but I don't think, like I said, I think they didn't anticipate everybody else's injection of what it was going to be. You still had to worry about the House settlement, how much you're going to pay. Okay. Everybody was making their plans and what they thought, and I think they misjudged what it was going to be, what it was going to spend, and now I think they've made or at least they claim that they will now make the adjustments so that they will be in a better spot.
Man,
I don't know that they out lied to people.
Well, okay, again, then we are debating.
That's harsh, right?
What? What?
I said, that's harsh. Like, they lied. I don't, maybe not. I don't think they
Okay,
did. I think they probably said,
they
"Here's what
did
we thought we
not
were
they
gonna
did
keep."
not
It's
hold
wrong.
up. They did not hold up to their end of the agreement. And now we're discussing how complicated this is. I don't think it's complicated. I think very early on, people figured out how much money you needed and what was being spent. And yet, years into his tenure, they were
His
bottom
third
third.
year.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So after 2 years, but I think this is only the second year really it's been around. And I think the first year, what they really thought was, we can get by being Wisconsin, right? They had, where they previously, when he came in, they probably spent in the upper third. So you throw out the first year because they probably did it. And then last year they miscalculate that, okay, wait, only the really bad teams or people like that are going to try to buy talent. We can get by on being,
Okay.
we can be Wisconsin. And now they realize that was a bad error. Now they're behind. People are spending this money. They're in the bottom third, and they're going to make their effort to be up in the upper third.
I have one other question. When they got rid of the coach, the previous one, they said the goal was championships.
Yeah.
Is why. Well, when you say championships, isn't there some responsibility to understand what it takes to be a champion?
Sure, but how much of this is money? How much is okay? Let's talk about money, but let's also talk about the staff.
All of it is money.
No. Let's talk
No?
about the staff that Fickle's. I don't care how much money you have. With the offensive coordinator he signed that first year was a gross miscalculation, and they didn't have the talent to pull off what they wanted to try, which wasn't a money thing.
Of course, it's a money thing. The money determines the talent that you're going to have. That's my exact point.
In the last 2 years. That first year was start of NIL, and they had the guys in. They brought in the kid from SMU and all this stuff. Some of that is they thought they had the quarterback they wanted. They thought they had the offense they wanted, and both those things turned out they stunk. So at some point, you can spend the money, but even if you spend it, if you can spend it on the SMU kid that can't play a lick, and you're giving me the offense coordinator who's going to try to do his aerial thing, let's spread them out, and you still have let's road grade guys, offensive linemen and stuff, then you haven't matched what you're supposed to do offensively with your personnel, and you get horrible results. And that has nothing to do with money.
Well, everything you say is true.
If I give you all the money, what if I gave you all the money and you said, great, here you can have Tom Brady, and then you go, I'm going to run the wishbone?
Again, it wouldn't be as well, but if I run the wishbone, I'm going to have some really good running backs. Do I think that offense failed because of the improper use of money? Yes. Everything you said is true. But you have no chance with no money. None. Zero. You can't get any players.
Correct. And now they've decided, well, we're going to change that because we tried being Wisconsin, thought that would just bring them in still. That it was still going to work. And it didn't. That worked for a lot of other places. They tried that. I give them a year where they screwed it up. Yeah, we can say that. For last year, they totally screwed it up, and into this year, and they didn't have the money in order to do it, so they screwed it up. But I don't think you can entirely then rule out what Fickle's done, which has not been impressive, money or not. He didn't have that much money in Cincinnati, and he managed to compete with everybody.
Well, it was a different game then. They weren't buying players. It wasn't professional football. It's professional football now. And I would also ask...
They're still buying way more players at Ohio State.
Correct.
Whether it's actual dollar for dollar than they are at Cincinnati.
Yes,
that's
but
not
it wasn't.
A fair fight.
Yes, but you have a chance to develop players. Those players now are apt to leave the schools. The question I'd have about Fickle about this was they knew how hard their schedule was. All right? Mm-hmm. To be in the bottom third going into this season is like bringing a bike to run in the Indy 500. Yeah,
Indiana wasn't spending in the top third. Look what Cignetti did.
Correct. That is an exception, and you know that. But
I don't know. Do I?
Well, of course. There aren't other stories of Indiana, and he brought all his players in from James Madison. You think every other school isn't trying to copy that?
I know. One AA guy.
Right.
I know. Vandy did all right when they brought a bunch of New Mexico State guys in.
Yes, they did okay. They didn't do so. So yes, they could have. Yes, would Wisconsin have been better off to hire Cignetti than Luke Fickle? Of course, right? I'll say that now and say it forever, right? Would you? But I want to know if you would say that.
No, I think that's a better hire. But at the time, that wasn't the hire, and
It was
so that's
not
what
the
I'm saying.
hire.
Maybe some of this isn't strictly financial. Some of this may actually fall on the coaching and development of the ball
I
club.
agree. Some of it. We're just discussing percentages.
I think right now it's a lot of it might fall on the vest.
I would say when you're in the bottom third, it's 80% money. You can't.
And you know what? Luke Fickell is super glad that's what you think, because then it's not him; it's strictly the accountants.
No, I still say the points you made are true, but they become secondary when you ask a guy to play in the international billiard championships, and you give him a snowshoe to play with. It's going to limit. He had no chance this year, none. And now we'll get to see. And yes, I am covering for him a little bit, but they should be good next year. They should be good next year. No, I think whatever he did as a coach was not as bad as the person in charge of the money. That is correct. Mm-hmm. That would be now. Would you say his coaching, and that includes as you said, his staff, the players you bring in? Would you believe, knowing if it's accurate, and I wouldn't think Ted Kellner would make it up, they were in the bottom third of money this year?
Sure.
Okay. Who is more responsible for where they're at now, money or Luke Fickell? I, of course, vote money, but I'm not sure. I don't think you will.
I don't think it's 80-20.
I wouldn't unless you're in the bottom third. Like if you were around 50-50, it would still be an embarrassment to Wisconsin, but then I think you'd have somewhat of a chance. But
money or not, do you think Wisconsin money or not, do you think the Badgers have always had the best talent in the Big Ten?
No.
Give me a recruiting class where they were in the top third of recruiting classes, period.
Again, anytime when you have Ron Dane in your recruiting class, that puts you in the top third. Again, the question isn't recruiting. The question isn't. No. The question, because there were a number of them, but the question isn't recruiting class. The question is the talent they had. Some of it was recruiting. Some of it was walk-ons. I mean, how they got the players isn't as important as they had them. Did they have a talent level on various teams that was in the top three of the Big Ten? Yes. I'll call Mike Lukes and get the specific years.
How much of that was developed? J.J. Watt came from being a tight end and he walked on.
Some was developed, I would say, offensive line.
There's a lot of that was developed.
Which is not occurring anymore.
They were never a leading contender every year in the super cool. They never had Ohio State talent.
That's correct. And they then proved that those lists were not as valuable and accurate as people thought, too, right?
And some of that is because they take them and you develop them from where that is.
But I'm not sure you can do that anymore.
I think you can I'm just not willing to lay all of it at the feet of the accountants.
Okay. How bad, if they had been the bottom of the Big Ten, not in the bottom third, how bad did it have to be, or you're just never going to go that far based on all the other factors?
I think if they come in listen, if they're going to spend top third, but really, by the way, all they can spend is what everybody else is spending. Right, so I don't know that you get to the top third. You got to, you spend your $20
million. I wish
I
had an answer to that. I think you're accurate. There must be some ability, otherwise he wouldn't have said that, or how you spend it in an NIL and whatever. I don't. But
if they come out here next year and they run and they're 10-1 or whatever it is, 11-1, then I'll go, well, you're right. It was entirely the money, but I don't know that you can make over that no matter how much money you have, because at some point you got to spend, but if all the best players are out there still going to Ohio State, like who on this team right now would you spend money on, period? That's what I wonder, like who decide we got to pay even these guys?
Be mostly defensive players.
I would be shocked if they come out next year and win 8 games. What are you going to say then? They've spent a ton of money.
Yeah, and then I would take 8 games.
What's the number that you say is okay? It is now. It proves to you that indeed it was the financial end, not the coaching end.
Yeah, 7 or 8. I think it's got to be up there because the schedule's easier. But I will believe that when you agree.
I would think if you're going to spend in the top third and an easier schedule and you only win 7, that would be disappointing.
All right. Well, see, now we're putting more heat on Mr. Fickle, right?
Correct.
Yeah. If they're going from bottom third to top third, yes, I believe they should win 8 games. I would take 7, but they should win 8. Yes, you're right.
I can win 7 games with John Jardine or Don McClain.
Right.
Dave McClain.
Yeah, but not when you were as bad as you were the previous year, right? I mean, Barry Alvarez did, but he didn't do it the next year, right? We're talking about year 1. This is year one of Luke Fickell. Al Fickell has been the coach the last few years.
That is amazing that he just gets a free pass for all of this.
No, he takes some.
Very little. I would like to have you as a boss.
I would like the person who's in charge of the money. I would like to have you as the boss. So we're in the same.
Right now, you just tell me it's not really the guy in charge of money because there isn't any.
No, I give him some money. No, when you're bottom third, yes. We
got to go see Andy North. We got to have some of that U.S. Open money.
I don't know. We got tons of Wisconsin got tons of rich people. No, I would have told Luke Fickell to resign last summer. If I had known bottom third, I'd say, get the hell out of here. They're going to ruin your brand. You have no chance. What would you have told him? If you'd have found out that, why did you hire that guy as offensive coordinator? John, they gave me a third of the money that I thought I was getting. I thought I'd be in the top third. I'm in the bottom third. What would be your answer to Luke Fickell on that? Sucks for you?
Let's see if you can coach.
All right. Fair enough. Second quarter. I don't know if it can be as good as the first one. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Well, it's a bit of a rough ride out there for sure. We've got southbound 43 backing up from Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette and onto the high-rise bridge. Back on the brakes from Beecher all the way down past the KK River and again from Oklahoma Avenue down to about Howard Avenue. Northbound slowing down through the Marquette all the way up to Locust. Southbound on the bypass, solid from the Zoo interchange all the way down and around the Hale interchange to Forest Home. Westbound is backing up out of the Mitchell interchange pretty much all the way to 68th Street. So give yourself the extra time there. We've also got 41 southbound really heavy from just before Good Hope Road all the way down to Capitol Drive. Northbound slow from North Avenue up to Silver Spring. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Chance of rain and snow mix. Blustery with a low of 32. Tomorrow mostly cloudy and windy. Snow showers likely, a high of 38. Falling to 32 by 4 p.m. Weather is brought to you by the Bartolotta Restaurants, offering the perfect holiday gift. A memorable experience with the Bartolotta gift card. Purchase yours at bartolottas.com, and happy holidays, Milwaukee. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Loziga on 94.5 ESPN.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Hey guys, it's ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel here to give you some advice. If you're making plans to propose to that special someone in your life, the Jewelry Center has to be your stop for the win. It's what I did. They're the best place to shop for diamond engagement rings in Milwaukee for a reason. I didn't know what to get, but with help of a Pinterest board, the Jewelry Center and their team of specialists took care of everything from start to finish. Naturally mined diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, whatever you're in the market for, when it comes to an engagement ring, the Jewelry Center has it. Find locations and inventory online at shoptjc.com.
Are you looking for reliable transportation this holiday season? I got you covered. Hey, it's Jen Latta from ESPN Milwaukee. With holiday parties, family gatherings, and year-end events on the horizon, I trust Accutrans Group to handle all my private transportation needs. Whether it's a corporate function or a festive celebration, Accutrans gets me there safely and on time. As a veteran-owned business, they pride themselves on top-notch service that you can count on. Booking is easy, stress-free, and reliable. Just visit AccuTransGroup.com to reserve your holiday ride today. That's AccuTransGroup.com.
This holiday season, trade the hustle and bustle for a lakeside retreat just a short drive from the city at Lake Lawn Resort. With an award-winning spa, special events all month long, like our Taylor Swift experience, our annual Thanksgiving feast, and of course, the kickoff to our Breakfast with Santa brunch. Be sure to make time with family, friends, or that special someone. Lake Lawn Resort has everything you need to create cherished memories and relive stories of old. Book your holiday escape today at Lake Lawn Resort, where the spirit of the season comes to life and everything truly is better at the lake.
A father faces homelessness. A mother is hospitalized, and there's no one to watch their children. La Causa Crisis Nursery and Respite Center is the only free 24/7 crisis nursery in Milwaukee. It's a safe and nurturing place for children aged 0 to 12 to stay while their parents work to regain stability and strength. Your generosity keeps La Causa's doors open and provides meals, classroom resources, mental health support, and more. Every child deserves the chance to dream, grow, and thrive. Make a difference by donating today at lacausa.org.
Football's back, and if you're headed up toward Green Bay, the perfect stop is Higher Love Cannabis Company, just seconds over the border in Menominee, Michigan, less than an hour from Green Bay. An easy stop before or after the game or anytime you're passing through town. And with so many low-quality, unregulated CBD products floating around Wisconsin, trust matters. Higher Love, award-winning, organically grown, locally owned, and the real deal. Higher Love Cannabis Company, best in the Midwest. Visit findhigherlove.com/CBD.
This is the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Fisco Auto Body, it's a family business owned since 1931. Not what they do, it's who they are, and they're still doing it. So that means that Fiscos are working on your car. Can you imagine how many years ago they started? That's why they're that good. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. Expert workmanship guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. Any damage, Fisco has you covered. Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin. Fisco, so you remember the name. Running a business means taking care of your team and your bottom line. For over 50 years, Saganiac Planning has helped small businesses build smarter, more affordable medical and employee benefit plans. Over 50 years. Yeah, you'd have it figured out. From health insurance to customized coverage options, Saganiac Planning's experts make it simple to protect your people and your future. Saganiac Planning, your partner in planning confidence. Visit SaganiacPlanning.com. Call John Saganiac Jr. to get started, a number you can remember. Just remember 783-262-783. Roger Maris, 6161. 7'2.5", John Anderson, only 6'8.5", because Fat Jack is doing a special Tuesday show. Do you, given you're on with Fat Jack, have any gambling advice or information or stories? I will always believe that Paul Hornung is one of the great gamblers in the history of this country, but I can't prove that. That's just the stories that I heard. Very upset that he was banned because they only bet on the Packers to win and didn't see that there was any problem with that, given they were always favored, and so they just had to cover the spread. But I figure you know more from Green Bay. Did he ever knock on your door for money?
I don't know about that, other than I know that Alex Karras always said, like he was a much better gambler because he got to gamble on the Packers, and Karras had to bet on the Lions.
That's
they
true.
Were terrible, at the time. Well, they were terrible, and they still managed to beat the Packers on Thanksgiving Day all the time.
Yes, beat arguably, and it's not even arguably, the greatest Green Bay Packer team ever. You look at the numbers. Oh, my God. They outscored the opponents like 400 to 100. It's impossible. Yeah. All the other Lombardi teams were a joke. That's when I need a governor. Compared to that team. Maybe the greatest team in the history of the NFL.
So I was talking to the young whippersnappers in the sports office, and I said, the Packers used to play the Lions on Thanksgiving Day every year. Mm-hmm. They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, every year. And then in 1962, which was Lombardi's best team, they went 13-1. Bart Starr gets sacked 10 times. They get hammered, and he calls the office and says, "We're not going back there. Why do we have to go every year?" And they played in 63, and then they didn't play again until like 84. Like Lombardi.
I didn't know
Lombardi,
that. He said
that's enough. Yeah. Yeah. Lombardi said, why am I the guy that has to go over there every Thanksgiving and get my brains beat out on the one day when they know they can play? And so it was too late for 63. And then after that, they didn't play there till 84.
So was it the number of days or just that they lost, or what's the history?
I think they just went over there and got beat all the time. And Lombardi was just like, wait, why am I the guy that has to go over there every year?
Right.
Because that was the game. Even when they were bad, they always managed to kind of play well on that date. And he's like, why am I the guy that has to go over there and get my teeth kicked in? Send somebody else.
I would bet after 62 is when he made that decision, having observed how incredibly good that team was. And yet, on that day.
Yes. Yeah, after the 62 is when he did it. He got beat in 62. And he said, okay, there'll be no more of that. And they just said,
they tied in 63, and that was the last one for a while.
Yeah.
Right. And then they went to 84. As I said, they got hammered in 62, and he said, I'm not coming back. So I guess it took a year to straighten it out. After that, they didn't go back, go look, right? Alex, till 84, I believe, the next time they played.
You're spot on.
Listen, they don't give this job to chimps. I know a few things.
Well, they gave it to me, so.
No.
I'd argue with that.
Well, you grew up there. He grew up in Green Bay.
Not 1962, I didn't.
Well, what year were you born?
65.
All right, hold on. Now now that we want to go there, because I got a little salt. Okay, you're born in 65. When did you first learn about 62? In about 69 or 70?
Probably at my dad's elbow. He'd tell me stories about that. Listen, I don't know if they ever write, but I go with that. Like one of my other favorite stories he used to tell was the Jim Ringo story. Because Lombardi didn't want to deal with agents. And
Correct.
So Jim Ringo went into his negotiations with the agent. And Lombardi said, hang on just a minute. And he went back in and made a few calls and told the agent, he doesn't play here. You're going to have to go be an agent with the Philadelphia Eagles now.
Right. And I think they've left out the biggest part of that story, which I believe is the biggest part left out. Until Bill Walsh, Vince Lombardi was the greatest offensive genius in the history of the NFL. And there's only one reason, and Ringo was fabulous. There was only one reason why he let Ringo go. Because he had a center, and he knew how good he was. So good that Jerry Kramer had to beg him to not tell the truth when Bart Starr made the famous quarterback sneak.
So who was at that point? Ken Bowman, or who they had? Yes, they had Bill Curtin for a year, and then Ken Bowman?
Yes. Lombardi,
Bowman was not as good as Jim Ringo.
No, he wasn't, but he was really good. So there wasn't, the Max McGee, maybe he told you, he never told me, and I was around Appleton all the time when, at the end, he said all this stuff about Paul Hornung and how tough Lombardi was. He said Lombardi cared about only one thing. How you played on Sunday. You played well on Sunday. You could do whatever the hell you wanted the rest of the week. Clearly that was the case with Hornung. But these things that I think that they don't fit whatever people want to believe about Lombardi. John Madden said it best. He goes to a clinic with Vince Lombardi because he wanted to learn about it. 9 to noon, power sweep. We going to do anything else? Back after lunch. After lunch, 3 more hours on the power sweep. 6 hours on one play. You can't do that if you're just, okay, he's the toughest guy ever. Bart Starr becomes quarterback. And if any of these stories aren't true, let me know because I've run with him for so long. Bart Starr's a nobody. He's around and other guys are playing. He makes him the starter. I don't know how many days of practice. He's yelling at Starr. Starr comes in after practice and says, Coach, you can't yell at me at practice. I can't lead the team the way I want to. What did Lombardi do? Toughest guy. Okay, Bart, if you need that, I'll take care of you. Come on.
I think that's probably exactly how he sounded.
Well, no, explain that in the dynamics about this Vince Lombardi that everybody loves. It's the toughest guy in the world. Apparently not with Bart Starr. He treated, I believe, everybody differently based on Dave Robinson, you got to talk to him. Have you talked to Dave Robinson? He says, I just want to let you know, Vince Lombardi didn't know jack about defense. That's why he had to make Bankston the next head coach, because he owed him everything. He said he didn't even know what we were doing defensively, and when he wanted to get mad at a defensive player, he'd go over to Bankston and said, who screwed up? Banks would say, it was Robinson. Hey, come on! Come on. You ever heard those stories?
I hadn't heard that, but listen, how much you like? If I'm an offensive guy, and I've got Willie Davis and Ray Nitschke and Henry Jordan and Adderley and all those guys, how much do you need from me? Like, go, Bobby Jeter, you got a Hall of Famers there. Like, you just handle your business. I'm going to go over here and run I always say you had two plays because you could run the power sweep to the left or the right. So technically that's two plays they had. But they just, but I don't think that's wrong when you're like, I don't think that takes away from what might be his toughness. If he said to Bart Starr, if he was, did he treat him differently like that? He went in there, right? Look at now he made it sound like a tough guy.
Would you expect Bart Starr to go in
he
there
made it sound like
and
a tough guy,
Lombardi
but look at
says,
Herb Brooks.
hey,
look at Herb Brooks, who is going to be Mr. Tough Guy.
Yes.
Mr. Tough Guy.
Yes.
And he said to Mike Ruzioni, right? If I call you Rizzo, I'm not yelling at you. And if I call you Ruzioni, then you're chewing your ass out. So what's the difference?
Nothing. That's the part of great coaches that they don't talk about. I mean, you would have expected. He'd go, excuse me, Mr. Starr. My name is Vince Lombardi. Did you check up on there? It says head coach. I will recognize, but always know this. I'll yell at you whenever I want and every time I want. Would you have expected him to say that? Show respect for him, but like Bart Starr's going to decide very soon after he becomes starting coach not to be yelled at in practice?
He saw Lamar McCants play. Like I feel like I got some power. I've got some leverage.
For those who don't know who that player is, that makes Don Hudson look great. Please explain who you're talking about. A quarterback that was no good.
Quarterbacks they had there with Babe Pirelli. He had to beat out a bunch of plumbers.
All right,
so of course he had a chance.
We got a break. I lost track, but I went Old Testament, and now we'll get back to the current Packer team in quarter 3. By the way, on YouTube, I loved it. Not sure second quarter could be worse than the first. I just love these. It's good. You know what I say when they say that? Thanks. Next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Well, it's a bit of a rough ride out there for sure. We've got southbound 43 backing up from Capitol Drive all the way down through the Marquette and onto the high-rise bridge. Back on the brakes from Beecher all the way down past the KK River and again from Oklahoma Avenue down to about Howard Avenue. Northbound slowing down through the Marquette all the way up to Locust. Southbound on the bypass, solid from the Zoo interchange all the way down and around the Hale interchange to Forest Home. Westbound is backing up out of the Mitchell interchange pretty much all the way to 68th Street. So give yourself the extra time there. We've also got 41 southbound really heavy from just before Good Hope Road all the way down to Capitol Drive. Northbound slow from North Avenue up to Silver Spring. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Chance of rain and snow mix. Blustery with a low of 32. Tomorrow mostly cloudy and windy. Snow showers likely, a high of 38. Falling to 32 by 4 p.m. Weather is brought to you by the Bartolotta Restaurants, offering the perfect holiday gift, a memorable experience with the Bartolotta gift card. Purchase yours at bartolottas.com, and happy holidays, Milwaukee. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Loziga on 94.5 ESPN.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Why Z-Bart? Because you don't want rust holes in your expensive vehicle. Let Z-Bart keep the rust away with professional rust protection. Only at Z-Bart.
Victory Monday in the books, which means we've got to turn our attention quickly to just 2 days away. Thanksgiving at noon, it's Packers at Lions, the second time these two teams will meet up in the 2025 season. The Packers got the better of the Lions in Week 1 at Lambeau Field, but a lot has happened since then. Head coach Matt LaFleur on the matchup.
They're one of the premier teams in the National Football League for a reason. I think they got great coaches. I think they got great players, great schemes. So it'll be a great challenge for us, but one our guys will be ready for.
Second time in 3 years the Lions will host the Packers on Thanksgiving. Detroit, 2.5-point favorites. I'm Alex Stroh.
This has been your Green and Gold Fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee.
Do you want your car to shine like a diamond? Then you need Z-Gloss from Z-Bart. Z-Gloss gives you a mirror finish and protects your paint from everything Mother Nature can throw at it with a 10-year guarantee. Visit zbart.com for more information.
Homer here from ESPN Milwaukee. What makes living at Three Pillars so special? Let's hear from my friend Dave.
The campus is beautiful. For me, nature is my church, and I love being outside. We live by the Bark River, and it's calming. It just calms my soul. I just love it. A lot of the people, I'm talking about 100-year-old people, 90 years old, say they credit Three Pillars with living longer.
Homer here for Window Nation's end of the year sale. This November, you'll save big with 50% off all window styles. Plus, you could get 0% financing for 5 years. Window Nation's proven quality windows are so good, you'll actually save money on lower utility bills and come with a lifetime warranty. Window Nation even has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Don't miss out on 50% off and 0 interest for 5 years. Visit windownation.com to get started.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
For general contest rules, visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com.
Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Message for Three Pillars Senior Living Communities, 300 acres. It's a city. It's on the Bark River in Dousman, top-ranked full continuum community. You can be when you get 300 acres. Active adult and independent living, assisted living and memory care, skilled nursing and rehab. They have it all, plus incredible wellness programs. Long list of activities. 300 acres, 10 miles walking. And, as is most important, a great staff for all the different situations with the people you have. You got to see it for yourself in Dousman. Might take you a few days to see all 300 acres. Get the info at threepillars.org. And Window Nation end of the year sale, 90% customer satisfaction. I can tell you stuff, but more important, the customers do. It's cold out there. You want to get it taken care of? All right? Save 50% off all window styles, plus you get 0% financing for 5 years. You have lifetime warranty. Window Nation, what I call right now. They can do it right now. They can get it done in a day. Challenge them. And they have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Visit windownation.com, windownation.com to take advantage of the great sale they have going on now. 7-2.5 John Anderson for a few more minutes, and then we will have Fat Jack. What do you want to tell people about the Green Bay Packers? You have been, I would say you have been cautiously optimistic and positive. How's that? Would you say that describes your thoughts on the Packers this season?
Yes. And I think that until we get into, we're into December, give me the last 4 weeks, then I need to worry about if they're playing really well. Get yourself in position. They seem to be doing that. They have, I think there's a reason to, over the long season, not go crazy early, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, to just, and I think they've shown themselves. I still think the offense could really improve. That's the thing I wonder. I feel like that offense has way more to give. Unless we've and maybe we have, like I said,
more to give. Can you translate that?
Unless like I said, I think maybe we have overestimated the talent of that receiving core. But I just feel like they leave points out there every week.
Has the head coach been too conservative with his quarterback?
I thought for sure they were going to score again and make another 27-point win. I thought, look at this, it's 20 to whatever. Like, they're going to score 27 and win again. That's their magic number. Do I think he's too conservative? I don't know. What I wonder is it seems like the opening series is always really good. What do we do when we get off the script? And that's where I don't know that they have shown some of the same creativity and flair as they have in the past. They do seem to have reined it in, but maybe that's because he can't do things with Jordan Love that he could with Aaron Rodgers. There might be, I don't think there's any question. While I think Love's a really good player, he's not Aaron Rodgers, which I don't think is really going out on a limb, right? I don't think that branch is gonna.
But what do you like most about him? That's what I want to know.
Love?
Yeah.
I just think he's a talented guy. I guess compared to the rest of them, I think he plays well. I think he can always play better. I think he's still, learning to the position, but pretty soon they'll be out of any excuses. I'm with you. Like every once in a while, seems to want to throw one dumb ball a week, which I'd like to, get out of that habit. But I think he's a heady guy. I like his demeanor most of the time. I don't need to have somebody shout or bark all the time. They seem to respond to him. I think he leads the team well. I just think he's got a lot of ability. But I do think they could do more. What I'm curious of, is the play of the backup running backs go, okay, Josh Jacobs on a friendly contract, so it's not like he's bankrupted. We're like, okay, do you need to spend a ton of money on that guy? I would, but it's nice that the backup is really capable at that position.
Oh, we got a question for you coming in fast. Ask 7-2.5 if the team is the same with Malik at quarterback.
No, not even close. No, you got to change the whole offense, and he's done well, but no. And I think if you had to do Malik Willis again, for a month, you could solve him easier than you can solve Jordan. I think Jordan Love can at any point beat whatever defense you come. It might take him a minute, but I think he's good enough to beat. I think Willis has some limitations where you can get the better of him.
All right. I have picked Detroit to win the game, but I don't care. I still have faith in the Packers. It's just one game. They got a ton left. I assume they'll be fine making the playoffs and make a serious run to win the division. So it's maybe not as big a game as others think. But I will defer to you on both of those angles.
I think it's a bigger game for the Lions. Right? It's a bigger game for the Lions, I think, right now.
Okay.
Right? They've got way more at stake here. If they get beat by them twice and, the Giants thing they pulled off, you shouldn't have. Packers managed to go ahead and beat them. I think the Lions are the more desperate team, which is usually, I think, that's how, if you're going to put some money on it, I'd go with the team that is more desperate. But I do think the Packers have sort of started to roll a little bit. I think they have some confidence going in here. I'm hoping that they have, because the Lions are good, they have respect for them, that they don't somehow lose like they did to the Browns or play some of those games. I think defensively they took positives of how they played against the Eagles as well. So I think that off side of the ball is really cooking. And I think that the Packers can win this game if they have 24 points. You just got to watch the Lions. They got shifty guys, man. It doesn't take long. You get a couple of the wide receiver or one of those running backs free, they can put up, 80 yards in a hurry. But I just think they'll be able to control them, and I am optimistic. But I also know that got to pump the brakes once in a while because they're not the 72 Dolphins. They are not the team that went 15-1 with the Packers, right? They have some limitations, or at least they haven't shown that they are one of the.
But you expect them to make the playoffs? Will you say they could win the Super Bowl? Where's your range, or is it still too early?
No, I still think they could. No, I don't think there's. I have not seen anybody there that the Packers can't beat or play with. Right now, can you?
Right now, the Rams look hot, but I agree with you. It could change in a week or two easily.
Can you put three of those games together?
Oh, no.
Like the Patriots are the best team in the AFC? I don't think so. Got the best record, but there's nothing about them that scares me.
No.
The Chiefs don't scare me. The Broncos will get a measure of them. They'll get a measure of them in Denver to see where it's at.
And Baltimore, where they're at the end of the year.
Yep. Baltimore's playing better, but I don't know right now that they're terrifying anybody. So much of that depends on the health of how healthy is Lamar Jackson.
Oh, by the way, did in your week gone, did somebody from Kenya win anything?
Doris Lemon-Golay, who is a delightful young woman from Eldoret, Kenya, won the women's thing. The guy, though, you're completely wrong. He's from Eritrea.
From where?
Eritrea.
I don't know what that is.
It's another East African country. It's not Kenya. It's not Ethiopia.
Has
Eritrea.
they ever had a good runner before?
They've had a great runner. His name's Meb Keflezighi, who is a naturalized citizen and the last
Of
American.
the U.S. Yes.
Meb
I thought
is
he was from Kenya. I thought they were all from Kenya. You mean I got to learn other African nations? Now,
Yes,
if I go
you do.
back on TV, he's from somewhere in Africa. Someone from somewhere in Africa won. All right.
Meb is, yes.
What's the country again?
Eritrea.
I have to ask, Alex, him how to spell it.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
AIRATRA.
I believe it's ERITRA.
All right, we got to go. Thanks. 7-2.5. I learned about a new African nation. If you're hitting the road for the holidays, heading up north, doing some shopping, or just anything, make a quick stop at Higher Love Cannabis Company in Menominee. 9 seconds across the border. It's literally, 9 seconds across the Wisconsin border. Award-winning, organically grown products you can trust, plus incense, apparel, and a ton of great holiday gifts. And you can get a picture with Sasquatch. I didn't know about that, but I'm learning. Less than an hour from Green Bay, Higher Love Cannabis Company, best in the Midwest. Find Higher Love. FindHigherLove.com. FindHigherLove.com/CBD for more info. You never know what 7-2.5 is going to teach us. Something is that country in Africa. Next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. All day, every day. The Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more. Stay up to date on the green and gold all season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Every child deserves a chance. When you join the team at La Causa, you support giving children a chance to learn, to grow, to dream. La Causa Crisis Nursery and Respite Center is the only free 24/7 crisis nursery in Milwaukee. Their team doesn't just show up for work, they show up for the community as teachers, counselors, mentors, and advocates, united by compassion, education, and opportunity. Help change lives every day by embarking upon a rewarding career at La Causa. Apply today at lacausa.org.
Whether you're hitting the road for the holidays or heading up north to see family and friends, make Higher Love Cannabis Company in Menominee, Michigan your first stop. Just across the Wisconsin border, Higher Love offers award-winning, organically grown products that you can trust, plus new incense, apparel, and holiday-ready gifts. Fuel your trip, stock up for the season, and don't forget to grab a photo with Sasquatch while you're here. Your perfect holiday stop is waiting at findhigherlove.com/CBD.
Steinhoffel's biggest Black Friday sale is happening now. Save 10% store-wide and get $50 instant cash back for every $4.99 you spend. Plus, get a $200 MasterCard rewards card when you use your Steinhoffel's credit card. And get amazing doorbusters like recliners at $229 and sofas just $299. Plus, buy a premium mattress and get free premier delivery on everything. Shop in-store or online at steinhoffels.com.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your Green and Gold Fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank. Tri-City National Bank offers a full suite of personal and business banking products at more than 25 convenient locations. Open your account today at the community bank that's Milwaukee's best bank. Learn more at tcnb.com.
Victory Monday in the books, which means we've got to turn our attention quickly to just 2 days away. Thanksgiving at noon. It's Packers at Lions, the second time these two teams will meet up in the 2025 season. The Packers got the better of the Lions in Week 1 at Lambeau Field, but a lot has happened since then. Head coach Matt LaFleur on the matchup.
They're one of the premier teams in the National Football League for a reason. I think they got great coaches. I think they got great players, great schemes. So it'll be a great challenge for us, but one our guys will be ready for.
Second time in 3 years, the Lions will host the Packers on Thanksgiving. Detroit, 2.5-point favorites. I'm Alex Stroh.
This has been your Green and Gold Fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Tri-City National Bank, your hometown bank.
Family's bigger? Out of space? We can help you find a new place. Just make Tri-City your first call. We are here to help, loan large or small. Tri-City National Bank, equal housing lender, NMLS 433891.
This holiday season, trade the hustle and bustle for a lakeside retreat just a short drive from the city at Lake Lawn Resort. With an award-winning spa, special events all month long like our Taylor Swift experience, our annual Thanksgiving feast, and of course, the kickoff to our Breakfast with Santa brunch. Be sure to make time with family, friends, or that special someone. Lake Lawn Resort has everything you need to create cherished memories and relive stories of old. Book your holiday escape today at Lake Lawn Resort, where the spirit of the season comes to life and everything truly is better at the lake.
Give the gift of a special night out from the Bartolotta Restaurants. Purchase a gift card at bartolottas.com and get a $20 holiday bonus for every $100 you spend. Happy holidays from all of us at the Bartolotta Restaurants, and thank you, Milwaukee.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
It's a special Fat Jack, of course, with Thanksgiving. Everybody have a happy Thanksgiving. Go to fatjacksports.com. It's more important now than ever that you have it. Fat Jack, people are giving me questions. Good afternoon.
Well, that's good, right? It means they're listening, and that's
so they say,
better.
As Fat Jack, I know what your answer is. All right, I always love a team, and I bet against them so that if they lose, then at least I win my bet. I said, when I was in Nebraska, everybody did that. So take it away, Fat Jack.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're okay giving money away, I'm not going to tell people what to do with their money. These are all just ideas that are going to make your brain feel better, but ultimately make your pocketbook have less money in it. So if that's the way you, like I said, I'm not going to tell somebody if you spend all your money on golf clubs and you go play golf at Pebble Beach every Friday and that's how you want to spend your money. I'm not here to tell you that's a bad idea. I'm going to tell you that if you have to decide early. We talked about this in September, Homer. You either gamble for money or you gamble for fun. It's very difficult to do. It's impossible almost to do both. So you either have to choose up front. Am I gambling for money? Am I gambling for fun? And then if you're gambling for fun, absolutely. I mean, if you live in a place with a team that's not very good and doesn't cover numbers a lot, then yeah, go ahead and bet against them. That way, you're going to win either way.
All right, let's get to the Packers. Now I want to go to Wisconsin. I believe in Wisconsin now. They've figured it out, but I don't know if the odds makers have figured them out because I think they're going to win at Minnesota. They got the right quarterback. They've got a good defense. It's amazing that they've improved as much as they want. What do you think of my theory?
Yeah, well, they've covered 4 of the last 5, so your theory going backwards is correct. I mean, the question is, has Vegas figured out, have we moved the number enough? Minnesota not good against the spread either, so you have a couple of different things kind of pushing against each other. Minnesota 2-7 against the spread their last night. The better play, especially if you're looking backwards and trying to predict what's going to happen this week, is most likely the under. Both of these teams have been living with lower scoring games. Wisconsin's been able to cover these numbers because they've been underdogs most of the time, but now they're not very much of an underdog, so they're going to actually have to go on the road and win. I think that's more uphill than saying, okay, Wisconsin's gone under the total 8 games in a row. Minnesota's gone under the total 4 of their last 5 games. Sorry, in the series, they've gone under 4 of their last 5 games. So for the most part, these two, and we know the personality of these teams. Wisconsin didn't all of a sudden go from being a conservative offense trying to get their offense going to the greatest show on turf. They might be improving offensively, but probably not making that leap. Minnesota's not going to help them get the total over, so I'd go under in the game.
I feel perfectly about it. Yeah, Wisconsin's happy, and they've figured out how to win 10-7 and have no problem with it whatsoever. All right, now, help me out. Lions and the Packers. I like the Lions, but they almost lost it all and should have to the Giants if their coach wasn't an idiot. So I don't – maybe they're not what I think they are. Take it away, Fat Jack.
Yeah, I'm glad you picked up on Homer. I'm not sure who watched that game and care. Why are they not kicking the field goal at the end of the game? I don't understand.
I'd have fired him on the spot. I'd have fired him on the spot. Right? I don't know what analytics are. I checked under stupid analytics, but – couldn't find it.
The analytics have absolutely ruined teams. And we used to go, Homer, and you're a little bit older also, so it used to be about every game so important. You got to win every single game. Yep. That was the overall goal, the whole thing, because the NFL's not like NBA and baseball where you have a million games. You have to win. These guys are throwing games away. Forget what Detroit's coach is doing, going forward on 4th down against a better team 5 or 6 times in a row in his own territory, not getting it. I don't excuse that. I'm not sure it's a fireable offense, but how in the world do you not take the lead and say, yeah, I feel like we can stop you from getting a touchdown? A field goal just puts us in over. It makes no sense.
And people are making field goals 65 yards long. That has to factor in. I don't get it.
And this was a 5-yarder. It made absolutely no sense, and they did exactly what the Giants do. They giant and ended up figuring out a way to lose. So, but to your point, what is Detroit after that? I mean, this is a team that is playing more like that. And frankly, recently, they're 2-4 against the spread. Their last 6 games. These are two teams, Homer, that have one of them is going to get well here, and the other one's going to be looking like we're in trouble. Green Bay 2-7 against the spread their last 9. There's not a lot of difference in these teams right now, I don't think. The desperation, quote-unquote, mode is on both of them. I think Detroit, because they're at home, is probably the lean, but it's just a lean. If you get even a similar team that played last week and, frankly, the last few weeks, Green Bay absolutely wins the games. There's easier spots. Let's look Kansas City, Dallas. That's another one of those Thursday games. Kansas City coming off, I had under in that game. It was an easy. We talked about it here on the show.
Yep.
That playoff football is in Arrowhead and in Kansas City. Not a lot of chances. Keep it close to the vest. That game goes into overtime, still stays under the total. I think this is a similar spot. Dallas defense has been playing better since the bye. Their offense has regressed a little bit, as we expect teams to do in the NFL as teams go into the season. And Kansas City, I don't think they're going to – the names on the back of the jerseys are not reflective of how this offense is right now. Kansas City not scoring a lot of points, playing it a little bit conservative, not going down the field a whole lot. I think this game's another one of those. The total's in the 50s. Let's go under there. I think it's an easier spot than Green Bay, Detroit.
Go to fatjacksports.com. Fatjacksports.com. It's all there. You can do it that way when you're good. College football. I asked you about Wisconsin.
Kind of figuring out what these teams are. Ohio State, Michigan, obviously the big one. But with this Texas A&M, I look at these schools like one of them is battle-tested. One of them has had to overcome some adversity and is ready for this moment more than the other one. Texas A&M, since their win at Notre Dame, which was a good win, but if you start looking at, well, who's Notre Dame's best win? A lot of the teams in the country this year have suspect wins. And I put Notre Dame in that, and frankly, I put Texas A&M in that. They got the absolute best of the SEC schedule. They didn't play with Georgia, didn't play Alabama, didn't play Oklahoma. They didn't play anybody that would give them a lot of trouble. They go out of conference and get a last-second win against Notre Dame. Texas goes to Ohio State and is competitive. They beat Oklahoma in Dallas. They've got some hiccups along the way, but also you talk about desperation mode. Texas still thinking they have a way into the playoffs with a win here. A&M can probably afford a loss. A&M also 5-11 against the spread their last 16 games. That goes back to last year, Homer. This is a team not used to covering. I like Texas at home plus those points. And Ohio State, Michigan.
Under. Tell me if I'm right.
No, I think you're right. I mean, that's the easiest spot here. It can get over with turnovers, scoop and scores, pick sixes, or special teams. They all can that way. But as far as just matching up, both these teams going to be conservative. If it was at Ohio State, I would say, listen, if they can score 100, they will. I think Michigan has to give them extra possessions for this thing to get out of hand. You're getting double digits again against Ohio State team. Where is their best win? Where is their marquee game? They beat Texas. They've got a couple of – Oregon hasn't beaten anybody. So we've got some teams in the Big Ten, and frankly, in all the conferences that are sliding by having not – and Ohio State absolutely deserves to be number one, absolutely deserves to be the favorite, but I do think there's some value, especially at Michigan.
And I'm sure they'd be